It is the 24th of March 2024. Thank you so much for watching the UBC Weekly News Roundup. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha, and in the course of the week, President Museveni defended the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Netamong, against those attacking her on social media over alleged corruption and irrational expenditure of Parliament. For weeks now, the Speaker has been in the limelight over alleged misappropriation of funds by Parliament. This has been done through social media under the hashtag Uganda Parliament Exhibition. Details follow.
The President made the remarks today while addressing residents of Bukedea at Emokor grounds. The address came hot on the heels of his commissioning of Bukedea Teaching Hospital and College of Health Sciences in Bukedea District. The hospital was built by Right Honourable Among, who is also the Bukedea District Woman Member of Parliament. President Museveni explained that the real problem Uganda has are the traitors who work for foreigners.
Our daughter, the chairperson, and you talk so much on the social media about Anita Mong. How about the ones who are working for foreigners? The imperialists who want Uganda, Africa to be a slave again. We are going to expose those traitors.
The president further revealed that he was monitoring through the intelligence to see what has been going on regarding the social media attacks against Right Honourable Among.
Then she said, once I built the school, the school started admitting children, and the children are paying school fees. So the school fees from the children is the one I used to build the hospital.
President Museveni also thanked the Speaker for working closely with the whole government system, a thing he said has helped to hinder standoffs. On the other hand, President Museveni reiterated his call to Ugandans to get involved in food security and income-generating activities in order to improve their livelihoods.
We've been able to make sure that hospital supports the community.
The president also turned down the request to create another constituency in Bukedea, saying it is not wise. This had been proposed by the Bukedea District LC5 chairperson, Miss Mary Akol. Earlier on, the president had commissioned Bukedea Teaching Hospital and College of Health Sciences, a health facility situated in Bukedea District. The hospital, built by Right Honourable Among, opened doors for its first patients on 15th January 2024.
And because he's supporting the community.
During the commissioning, President Museveni commended the Speaker of Parliament for being a very active and innovative cadre who aims at transforming the lives of Ugandans through constructive projects. On her part, Right Honourable Among thanked President Museveni for supporting and keeping her dreams alive.
Now you are the only person who is there for me. You are the only person who knows me as an asset. And I will never disappoint you. And that one is my commitment.
She said the president supported her financially to set up Bukedea Comprehensive School in memory of her late father.
And whoever is doing the fighting, the God I serve will always fight for me. And wherever I can and whenever it is possible, I will bring development to home.
Speaker Among also thanked President Museveni for appointing General Muhoozi Kainerugaba as Chief of Defence Forces.
When you tell us to move, we shall move to the side. And we shall be guided by the Holy Spirit.
The Minister of State for Primary Education, Honourable Joyce Muriku Kaduku, on behalf of the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni, said the commissioning of Bukedea Teaching Hospital was one of the fruits President Museveni's vision of focusing more on sciences to socially and economically transform Uganda.
The First Lady extended her sincere appreciation to the Right Honourable Speaker for the investment in education that will go a long way to build the capacity of our students to become healthcare workers.
The event was also attended by the third Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honourable Rukia Nakadama, Government Chief Whip, Honourable Dennis Hamson Oboa, Minister of State for Sports, Honourable Peter Ogwang, Member of Parliament, cultural and religious leaders, among others. I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji.
The Commander Land Forces Lieutenant General Kyomugisha Hanga is in Congo to rally support for UPDF troop operations against the Allied Democratic Forces. General Kyomugisha, in company of Major General Dick Olum, Operation Shujaa commander, have met with the operation officers on the way forward offensive for the remaining ADF remnants.
On arrival in DRC, the Commander Land Forces, Lieutenant General Kyomugisha Mohanga, was received by Operation Shujaa Commander, Major General Dick Olum, at the tactical headquarters in Runa. The two decorated generals held a meeting with the senior officers and discussed a number of operational issues.
The UPDF and the FRDC have done a lot in a joint operation, which has created a lot of environment for the people to move around. When General Kyomugisha comes here, he comes here to meet the UPDF. But once it's a joint meeting, then the FRDC is involved. That's where the two heads of Chief of Defense Forces come in. So it is upon the Commander Land Forces to come visit, to come guide us, to come give us a way forward on how this operation should be undertaken. And in so doing, we come and brief him of what we have done, what we intend to do, and what our future plans are.
Operation minutes will be forwarded to the joint review meeting to be held between the UPDF and Fadaka Chief of Defense Forces of the two armies.
That we undertake what we are meant to do, and we do it in a special way. We have now followed the ADF to the west of River Ituri, and we continue hunting them, we continue killing them, we continue rescuing so many children, women, and some fighters who come out. We are proud to mention that the joint force has had a serious impact on very notorious commander, as indicated recently on the TV, those who have been trying to infiltrate Uganda. Commander in the names of Abu Wakas, Amigo, Lumisa, Meya. These are people we have dealt on seriously. We've hit them so hard. We've rescued a lot of women and children, got guns, and we continue to do so. We've gone ahead to make a clear passage and communication means to the people of this area and to us, the UPDF, to ensure we can move freely from Beni up to command. The civilians enjoy the joint operation.
Uganda People's Defense Forces opened Sector 4 to compress the remaining ADF rebels in areas of Erengeti, Mambasa, Kamanda Road Triangle. Haruna Mtesasira, UBS News.
Yes, sir.
In Bududa district, political players and educationists are urging for a consolidation of all government interventions, shifting away from mere tokens of appreciation and handouts towards strengthened initiatives focusing on transformative education. The Manyia County Member of Parliament, John Baptist Nambeshe, also the Opposition Chief Whip, emphasized this during a fundraising dinner for the construction of Arlington Vocational Secondary School. And the school, an initiative by founders John and Joyce Wanda, aims to provide quality education to Bududa's children.
Government needs to see what we are doing, and this is it.
The culturally rich and grounded Bamasaba populace have often faced disastrous landslides, affecting their comfortable stay in the mountainous auspices of Mount Elgon. These disasters not only affect communities but also hamper effective service delivery, among others, education in the area. The Major Member of Parliament, John Baptist Nambeshe, advises that there is need for the aggregation of all different government interventions to concentrate on education, as it is a key to success.
If you go by the proverb which says education is a key to success, there can never be better success like that of education, because education liberates you from lower stages of vulnerability to advanced stages of life.
Founder John Wanda expressed the community's demand for a model secondary school to benefit Bududa and the entire Bugisu region, attracting students globally.
So our goal, especially for this rural community, is to give them a model of what a good education looks like, what good skills look like, and then apply those skills in the development of their community. We want our country to move forward. We want to do the region and the entire Elgon region to move forward and be better. And we hope that this school can be the beginning, the catalyst for change in the region and raise the standards so other schools can perform at the same level.
Wanda called for government and stakeholder support in fundraising for this cause.
We are trying to do some of the things that the government has always wanted to do, but we are doing it bigger, stronger, better. But we want the government to sort of see this as one of their extensions of service delivery. Support us financially, support us with teachers, with curriculum, with the thing that can make this better. Let's be partners and let's build it together. So we are going to reach out to government in different ways.
Other political players and educators are also advocating for infrastructure development to uplift education standards in Bududa district.
We also want to attract people that come from other parts of the world, central and north, to come in this school. But this is all developing Bududa, not to be known just for landslides, but to have an education that provides for everyone in the society.
District Chairperson Milton Kamoti emphasized the district's focus on essential services like water and road infrastructure to improve socio-economic welfare.
First and foremost, road infrastructure is going to change. We have already started putting up water systems in the town council of Chikolo. There's power which is moving, and also the general business has increased in the area.
The school's mission extends beyond enhancing education in Bududa district. It also focuses on cultivating well-rounded individuals capable of competing on a global scale. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
The Ambassador of High Commission of Pakistan, Mohammed Hassan Wazir, applauded the government of Uganda for accommodating refugees during the celebration of National Day of Pakistan that is being celebrated every year on the 23rd of March. During the function, he also applauded Ugandans for the hospitality they have shown Pakistans and giving them a chance of doing business development, employment and processed export products such as rice and sugarcane, these that have been said during the celebrations of the National Day of Pakistan held at the High Commissioner of Pakistan in Kampala.
Thankful to the hospitality of Uganda and the government and the people of Uganda. We have opened our mission here in Kampala for the first time 2 years back, and today we are celebrating our National Day. Full to the government and the people of Uganda because they have accommodated so many Pakistanis in Uganda. Our Pakistanis, maybe they are in thousands, but they are investors, good investors, and they play a very important role in the development of this country. They provide employment, they provide, they give products, and the products are exported from Uganda.
Your Excellency, regarding trade and investment, Uganda is strongly interested in increasing trade volumes with Pakistan. We are pleased to note that between 2022 and 2023, Uganda's exports to Pakistan increased tremendously. We hope for deepened cooperation and trade in the textile field as our exports of cotton to Pakistan continue to expand.
And of course, in the course of the week, youth in various universities have been urged to internalize and learn from contributions of eminent achievers who endeavor to share their knowledge through authentic pieces like books. While launching a book titled Survival of the Fittest, A Tale of Resilience at Statistics House in Kampala, former Prime Minister Dr. Bududa said that this is a book written by a Pan-Africanist who captures the realities of African environments. We have a detailed report from Farida Namfuka.
And to 3 and 0. Please.
By Dr. John Bahana, survival of the...
A top locust scientist, John Bahana, has authored an autobiography entitled Survival of the Fittest, A Tale of Resilience. The book features how the author survived in a number of incidences and situations.
And as you are sloping towards the valley at a place called Maganjo, suddenly we were hit by bullets. And our taxi was hit. At that time, civil war was raging. There was Frelimo on one side and Renamo on the other side. And we were traveling along River Buzi. And bullets were flying all over the place. We reached the gate.
Mr. Bahana says being a scientist exposed him to so much danger in his 20 years dealing with locusts. Former Prime Minister Ruhakana Rugunda says this is an authentic book that captures realities of African environments.
Congratulate my brother Bahana for being a great example in authentically documenting his life and demonstrating that his life was an integral part of the community. Really great Pan-African example. Let us emulate his example by working as hard as he did and performing as well as he did. Now, in one way, by writing this book, is handing over his baton. So receive the batons very well and perform better than ours.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Dr. Pius Bigirimana, encourages people to write books in order to share their valuable experiences and also inspire and mentor others.
Right, you have a unique story to tell others. Maybe you have got a valuable experience that you want to share. Maybe you have gone through trying moments and you want to share with others who may be in the same situation. So I encourage you to write.
In the book, Mr. Bahana describes his mother as a doctor since she used herbal medicine to save his life.
We experienced and suffered a lot of ailments. My mother would travel up the hill, either early in the morning or late in the evening. She would return with a combination of plant material, grind it, sometimes boil it. The sick child would then be given the concoction, allowed to eat as long as I was on my mother's medication. Hey, lots of long worms were injected from my tummy.
Bahana also describes how indigenous knowledge has been replaced by colonial education of cram work.
Some people had been supported at that time to stay on the ground instead of going into colonial schools and maintain that knowledge. Today, we might have had some very serious brewing industries.
Through that colonial education, and I think you should not castigate it as such, because we wouldn't have written this book, we wouldn't be here, we didn't.
This is one of the autobiographies authored by a scientist, since they normally have little time to write due to the nature of their expertise. I'm Navka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
The first Deputy Prime Minister, also Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Aritwala Kadaga, has emphasized the need for administrators in higher institutions of learning to improve skills of learners in order for them to fit in the current competitive job market, officiating as a chief guest at a 3-day National Council for Higher Education exhibition held in Mbale City. Kadaga expressed that trainers in higher institutions of learning still hold a task to equip learners with all skills required by the employers for them to improve their standards of living.
Over 50 higher institutions of learning from all corners of the country have participated in a 3-day exhibition organized by National Council for Higher Education in Mbale City.
We are waiting for others to come, of course, but this is what your children can display.
During this exhibition, different learning institutions showcased their students' capabilities attained from their institutions. Mbale School of Nursing and Midwifery demonstrated how their learners are skilled in deliveries of mothers.
Clean and safe. It is because this mother has been attending antenatal services. She had done several scans and we were able to see that everything was fine. The moment the mother realizes she has missed her periods or she realizes she has conceived, she's supposed to start immediately attending antenatal clinic.
Uganda Christian University, the host institution, also exhibited through their virtual art and design led by Hauka Ramsey, who explained the beauty of art as a source of employment to graduates and non-graduates.
I sell stuffs to the whites. You know the whites like this. This looks so African. And if a white man comes in Uganda, he can really like his craft.
This event is conducted to enable interface between the learners and key players in the higher education subsector. And it is intended to help the learners and their parents, as well as sponsors, make decisions and choices of institutions and programs from an informed point of view.
The first Deputy Prime Minister, also Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, tasked the administrators in these institutions to prioritize equipping learners with skills that are applicable in the job market, but also teach languages that enable graduates to sail through the international job market.
I think that we need to add the issue of the languages. We are working in a region where we're speaking English as the official language, but the community has declared that both English, Swahili and French are official languages of the EAC, and for the students to be marketable in this region.
Under the theme, Fostering Graduates' Employability, the National Council for Higher Education exhibition intended to create space for different higher institutions of learning to showcase how they can ably serve Ugandans.
Ministry of Water and Environment has been tasked to do whatever it takes to ensure environmental conservation for the enormous socio-economic benefits to the country. In a message delivered on her behalf by the Government Chief Whip Hamson Oboa, the third Deputy Prime Minister Rukia Nakadama noted that the rate at which the environment is being degraded is alarming, hence the need for the ministry to tighten her grip. This was during the closing ceremony of the 7th Uganda Water and Environment Week at the Line Ministry in Luzira.
It is no secret that water and environment resources play a pivotal role in the socio-economic development of a country like Uganda. Unfortunately, according to the National Forestry Authority, cases of land grabbing, especially in the forest reserves, are on the increase.
Land grabbing by creation of titles in some forest reserves. Pressure on forest resources from other economic activities like agriculture, urbanization, and mining leading to deforestation.
While officiating the closing ceremony of this year's Water and Environment Week, the third Deputy Prime Minister, also Minister without portfolio, Rukia Nakadama, underscored the need for collective efforts in the conservation struggle.
Well-managed wetlands, riverbanks, and forests make communities resilient to extreme weather, events, and disasters, such as prolonged drought, famine, floods, and incidences of water scarcity.
This year's Water and Environment Week also hosted, on the sidelines, a number of activities including youth debates that brought together learners from secondary and institutions of higher learning. Impressed by this methodology, the Government Chief Whip, Hamson Oboa, lauded the Ministry of Water and Environment for the use of debates as an innovative way to recruit the young generation in the environmental conservation campaign.
So young people do not take these issues of the youth debate lightly. That must shape you as a future leader.
Also in attendance was the former Vice President and the Presidential Advisor on Sanitation and Environment, Dr. Gilbert Bukenya, who challenged technocrats in the sector to align their expertise with the available challenges in order to caution Ugandans from effects of climate change.
Those who know and those plenty who don't know. How can we use this knowledge of all of you who know and they walk with you to places where the forests are gone? The water is very dirty and people drink it every day.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Water and Environment has launched a water supply and sanitation atlas for information of the actual status of the country's natural resources.
It helps us to map out our next decision and what you're going to do and what we shall prioritize on.
To sum up the day, awards were given in recognition of outstanding performance and partnerships of some stakeholders.
State Ministry for Fisheries Helena Dorr has affirmed her continued engagement with fishing community to ensure the sector is more economically rewarding. Dorr, who was reappointed to the position 2 days ago, or a few days ago, I beg your pardon, wants fisheries to become the leading foreign exchange earner for Uganda, a journey she is ready to spearhead. This was during the belated Women's Day celebrations in Serere district on Friday, where leaders underscored the need to keep supporting the girl child.
It was initially meant to be a celebration for women, their struggles and achievements. It became double joy following the reappointment of Helen Dorr back to the Fisheries Ministerial docket. Women and men of the forces, those at local level, and students in their capacity marched at Ogera Primary School grounds in Serere district.
And I am very grateful and humbled before him, and I want to promise the country that I will try to do better.
Dorr is also the woman member of parliament for Serere district. She could not hide her readiness to continue driving the fisheries sector.
My prayer is that cabinet and parliament supports me to put the fishermen in 2 groups per landing site. If I put them in groups per landing site, these groups of fishermen will jealously keep the area and will not allow illegal fishers.
This would not leave the women behind, just as the day's theme suggested.
I feel really most of the women are getting economically empowered, even at the rural setting. Like today when you saw these crowds, they are full of women and they see what others are doing.
This optimism was just in line with an earlier submission by Serere County Member of Parliament, Emmanuel Omoding Okabe.
Without a woman, there is no man. But we all need each other. But a woman is superpower.
Other leaders, including members of parliament, agreed on addressing the plight of women and girls.
We still have teenage pregnancy at a very high rate in Serere, and as we celebrate this day, I request the men to spare the young girls and allow them to complete their study.
Most of them who eventually fall pregnant are not able to return to school and become more vulnerable to poverty. So that is what has been generally spoken about, and it can't be overly emphasized.
There's a lot of school dropouts, and that eventually is associated with number 1, poverty, number 2, the pressure of parents to retain these girls to do some home course. And therefore, women must be appreciated in society. But women have to take the turn now, because you know the dependency of women to men, it has reduced.
In this regard, everyone has a role to play at all levels and avenues.
Church has a role to play, the community has a role to play, parents have a role to play, the schools have a role to play.
The belated Women's Day celebration in Serere was held under the theme, Accelerating Gender Equality Through Women Economic Empowerment. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The annual diagnosis rate of breast cancer has escalated, placing unprecedented pressure on healthcare facilities. According to epidemiologist Dr. Harriet Babukako, this surge in breast cancer cases is causing a considerable burden on the nation's cancer treatment infrastructure. Oko Joseph reports. Uganda is witnessing a substantial annual surge in breast cancer cases, a trend that is exerting immense pressure on healthcare facilities.
If you have 100 people, 7.8 of those cases are being identified every year. And so that's the incidence. So our facilities are overwhelmed. So that 7.8 turns out to be very many people if you multiply it by the number of women in the country. And given that we have 1 or 2 or 3 facilities, so all of those people, once they come into that facility, we will have challenges of space and everything.
The surge in breast cancer cases highlights the urgent need for enhanced medical infrastructure and awareness programs. The majority of the cases are being diagnosed at advanced stages, emphasizing the need for improved early detection and screening methods.
We have a lot of women who come in late, and so breast cancer is diagnosed very late in 3rd and 4th stage, and this is a problem that leads to the women who have this breast cancer die because they come in late to us.
The prevalence of delayed diagnosis in Uganda female cancer patients has spurred epidemiologists at Makerere University to initiate a crucial campaign focused on fighting the disease through early detection.
The woman can be able to self-identify anything that is irregular or abnormal about her, and then she seeks care as early as possible. There are other ways to actually screen or find out if you have issues. So you need to visit your medical doctor or clinician every year, at least every once a year if you're above 45 years old.
In addition to advocating for self-examination techniques, the experts at Makerere University are urging women to undergo regular mammography screenings, further bolstering the fight against breast cancer.
We also recommend that you do a mammography, an approach that is the gold standard worldwide for all the women who are, for Uganda, the age category is from 35, because we are seeing cases of breast cancer starting from about 35 going on upwards, but in developed countries they are taking 45 and above.
Joseph Oko compiled this report. Religious leaders in Karamoja sub-region have called for customized training for religious leaders in order to improve on the quality of religious leaders in the country. The call was made during a consultative meeting where the Director of Ethics and Integrity in charge of religious affairs, Reverend Canon Aaron Mwesije, collected views on the draft of the upcoming national policy on religious and faith-based organizations.
Officials from the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity under the President's Office have met with religious leaders and faith organizations from Karamoja sub-region to collect views on the draft of upcoming national policy on religious and faith-based organizations,
so that people would actually provide and give their views and observations. But secondly, to find solutions from the religious leaders of how, as a country, we can be able to defeat corruption, right from the family level up to the national level.
Reverend Canon Aaron Mwesije is the Director, Ethics and Religious Affairs, a Directorate of Ethics and Integrity under the President's Office.
I am appealing to religious leaders and even government at large that we should start training our children at home. Instead of giving them money to buy votes to become prefects in primary and secondary, we should instead impart values and morals that can help them in future to shun the evil of corruption.
Reverend Mwesije explains what is in the draft of the National Policy on Religious and Faith-Based Organizations.
It is meant to promote a system of accountability and transparency among the faithfuls. And when you talk of faithfuls, you're not limited to church leadership alone, but even those who go to those churches. That we can point what this policy is all about, or is meant to do, is to enhance collaboration and partnership between the religious bodies and the government.
Religious leaders had mixed reactions on the National Policy on Religious and Faith-Based Organizations.
That's a movement of justice, integrity, ethics. What are the technical gaps that we need here as ethics and integrity to handle and to manage?
Because we are going to enter into how they should worship. Because some people, if someone comes to give 1 million towards the construction of the church or towards something, and then the government is saying we should regulate, the people bringing in money should bring 10,000. So that is going to give us a serious class. So we need to cross that part.
Religious leaders call for customized training for religious leaders in order to improve on their quality.
So if we say certificate, and again another person has opened the university of maybe 2 buildings, and there are no maybe good lecturers who have studied well to certain higher levels. So these training colleges should be centralized, should be centralized.
And the churches themselves to capture a clause in the policy that talks about what kind of leaders do they want and what kind of education or training should they begin with. So in other words, the kind of training should be customized.
Resident District Commissioner Moroto, George William Wopua, officiated the meeting and narrated the challenges they face in fighting corruption.
So when you see peace, no better corruption cases is important. It is not because the corruption cases are not there. There are corruption agencies, fear. As an issue, you make the reports, and then you come back and say, you know, it is the other issues following you. It's not to me, that's the police officer telling you. And I know here, that is a reason.
The meeting was attended by a cross-section of religious leaders from the Catholic, Anglican, Pentecostal churches and Islamic faith. I'm Navka Farida and Maureen Yiga.
The Minister of State for Environment, represented by Commissioner of Water and Environment, Engineer Joseph Epetu, commended the Youth Go Green Umbrella Organization and various stakeholders, including IOM, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and the GCM for their efforts in raising awareness about climate migration among young people. He emphasized the importance of empowering and engaging youth in pursuing a low-carbon socio-economic development pathway. He also made these remarks while at the National Water and Environment Week in Luzira.
25 pages, or you? Again, would like to thank all of you. Would like to call upon the youth to embrace this discussion, but also to thank you so much for making time to be with us today as part of the Water Week. And again, would like to thank Edwin and Fred for coordinating and mobilizing the youth to be part of this process.
We have, as an agency, to work jointly, even with our fellow UN agencies, with the government of Uganda, with all authorities, to ensure that we are also supporting the efforts of the government of Uganda in tackling those issues. This is actually the main essence of our presence here.
We are here, and I hope we have also support from other partners, but we are here to support you. So we are not coming with an agenda. The agenda, you define the agenda. But what I want, what I really want, and that you are outspoken, and then you tell us what you need. So we work together.
However, climate change adaptation is key for us to have sustainable growth, as this issue is cross-cutting among several, if not all, sectors of development in the country.
Be somebody who really wants to support the environment, but they do not actually have the means.
Yes.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200K to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
March is the month of film magic as the Uganda Communications Commission brings you the regional film competition. Experience the excitement across Uganda. Northern region in Moroto from the 4th to the 8th of March. Eastern region in Jinja from the 11th to the 15th of March. Central region in Mityana from the 18th to the 22nd of March. Western region in Kasese from the 24th to the 27th of March. Come and watch some of the best films made by your very own creative minds on their way to stardom. Follow and support the different nominees as they battle for top honors in each regional film competition. The winners will walk away with prestigious awards and exciting prizes. The regional film competition is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission, increasing diversity of Ugandan content.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Ankole segment. Learn about the fabrication of Ankole Kingdom from Nkore, the beautiful village of milk and honey at the detriment of Mpororo states.
Ankole as a kingdom came about in 1901.
Ankole is a colonial fabrication.
And all these small kingdoms were counties of the original Itara.
Ruhinda Ruanjunachi, who was Mtrezi,
the son of Wamara Ruhanjanjuru.
And that starts the rulers of Ankole called Vahinda.
Who are the pre-colonial heroes from Ankole?
Is it Rutaraka, Muguta, is it Intare, Kitabanyoro? Find out from Tuko Pamoja.
Daily screenings at Ham Cinemax in Wandegea at 11:30, 2 p.m., 4:30 and 7 p.m. To get a ticket, call 0778-787-660. Tuko Pamoja?
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
We'll come back from that short commercial break. In our business stories, farmers from the districts of Teso have been oriented in citrus fruit farming at Awoja Riverside Farm in Soroti District. Now, the move was spearheaded by National Agricultural Research Laboratories aimed at keeping the quality of citrus plants for both consumption and market. Emily Arayo, the Development Commissioner Officer at Naro Kawanda, says that this will help in rehabilitating a neglected 5-year-old orchard at this farm. Take a look.
This is a group of farmers from Teso sub-region arriving at this orchard found at Awoja Riverside Farm in Soroti District. They are here to receive training in citrus fruit farm management. To take them through is Patrick Mahosi, a retired public servant and research consultant in citrus fruit farming.
And when you plant crops, you get good results. But as you harvest these crops and eat and sell, you know that you are eating and selling the nutrients, soil nutrients.
Following the canopy.
This is what he tells them before orienting them practically. The training is not short of questions and clarifications sought by the trainees.
When you have applied all this, will they still need more spraying or?
Lemon is resistant to most soil-borne diseases. But what we have budded there, the darling variety, the Sion, does not resist soil-borne diseases.
The soil in Teso is mainly marram, with a thin top, which is sandy. This makes organic manure to improve fertility more than a requirement. They have also been oriented in mulching and intercropping.
And when you apply manure, then you make sure you mix it properly with the soil, and you cover with the manure, with the mulch.
That it's possible that you can have a very good market for the citrus if you keep the quality right. If you know the right time for planting, the right time to prune, how to identify the diseases, how to treat your orchard, and how to maintain it.
To the farmers, it is a welcome gesture worth sharing widely.
I didn't have these skills before this. All I could do was just pour my manure all over. But now I have learned that feeding of the trees takes place just around the canopy where the leaves end.
Most of the people want handouts, but we are trying to change now and say, no, we want to give you a hook. You learn how to fish rather than giving you a fish. That's what we are doing with the community right now.
With this acquired knowledge, quality citrus production will be guaranteed.
Previously, there were challenges of diseases, challenges of how to manage water and soil, of course, fertility enhancement, and also marketing. But with the help of the government of Korea through COPIA, one of our projects from now is working with farmers in Mora, Kumi, Soroti, and Kalaki to improve the quality of the citrus, but also to help them market.
Teso sub-region in eastern Uganda is known for citrus fruit farming, which makes this training timely. Henry Okrut, UBC.
In the efforts to overcome the challenges of climate change, District Agriculture Extension workers have been encouraged to train farmers to engage in irrigation, especially micro-scale irrigation, by government, and advising them to plant profitable crops to increase on their income. The Undersecretary Minister of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, Ronald Jagenda Sega, was closing the 7 days training for District Agriculture Extension workers from 50 districts held at NFLC Camp Iringisa in Mbiji.
In a bid to promote the agriculture sector in the country and overcome challenges facing agriculturalists, especially climate change, District Agriculture Extension workers have been encouraged to train farmers in order to complement government's programs of micro-scale irrigation. The Undersecretary, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Ronald Jagenda Segawa, encouraged agriculture extension workers to promote the micro-scale irrigation program and follow up its implementation and achievements.
You cannot have the challenges to that extent that in the 50th year, you have just supported about 1,400 households instead of 25,000. Is the problem money? No, the money is there. What's the problem? Implementing challenges, the usual story. So how shall we explain that we have failed to help farmers access irrigation facilities at such subsidized rates under the circumstances where we are now? How shall we explain?
He was closing the 7-day District Agriculture Extension Workers Training at National Farmers Leadership Center in PG, which was held under the theme Promoting Irrigation for Improved Agriculture Productivity through Farmer Field Schools. The principal, National Farmers Leadership Center, Okwaja John Bosco, encouraged the participants to utilize the knowledge and skills acquired in the 7-day training to train farmers in their respective districts and also endeavor to encourage them to embrace and promote commercial farming.
Go back home, transform communities. You're being taken through the farmer field school approach. Bring these farmers what? Together. Teach them how to identify these problems. And also teach them how to fix these problems. And problems that cannot be managed by them are the ones that they can come to you for further guidance.
Chito Collins from the Ministry of Finance, that's funding the micro-scale irrigation program, says despite the program's tenure that expires in 1 year's time, the ministry has allocated more funds towards it so that many more farmers can benefit.
Just like for the grant for extension services, we are working on ensuring that the required additionality, which is about 67 billion, is provided before next financial year commences. So the moment that gets...
The micro-scale irrigation program was introduced 4 years ago, targeting 4,000 farmers, although only 1,300 have so far benefited from the group. Sudat Kaye and Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
In our sports stories, Bombo Army Secondary School has turned itself into a sports powerhouse, extending beyond defending the image of the army schools founded by Uganda People's Defense Forces. The school dominance in army schools games has lifted the UPDF founded schools to greater heights. Take a look as John Band Sentam reports.
Bombo Army Senior Secondary School has turned itself into a sports powerhouse. Bombo Army Senior Secondary School is the handball champion in Uganda Army schools, with the school intent on better, especially at Uganda Secondary School Association level. The school represented Uganda at Army Schools competition in Rwanda, where the boys emerged victorious.
All around the nurse, Bombo Army co-curricular, we are really very, very good. I told you, USFA, we are the champions. Lacrosse, it is a new game, and it has been here, I think, for 2 years. Ours, they introduced it within a month, but we were the third, and we qualified to go for nationals. I can assure you, whenever they go for any co-curricular, I stay behind praying that they win them, because it is damn expensive. Handball, we are the best. We are the ones who represented Uganda and handball in Rwanda. And we were the only army school, I think, who went. So we are doing very well.
The school has football, handball, netball, basketball, lacrosse, athletics, karate, and kabaddi, to name but a few. Learners are interested to pursue formal education with an eye on extracurricular activities like sports, which already turned into a viable venture as profession and career. These army schools are in divisions like Kachiri, Gulu, Mbarala, Moloto, among others. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Thank you so much for watching the UBC News Roundup to the 24th of March 2024. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Development Response to Displacement Impact Project, DRDIP, is a 5